Hey y'all, welcome back to another week of What's for Dinner. It is Monday and I made some spinach and ricotta stuffed shells. This was actually my first time ever making a stuffed shell recipe, and boy have I been missing out because these were amazing. I served it with a little side salad of lettuce, tomato, and ranch, and some garlic bread. It is Tuesday and I am making the Pollo Bendito. Right now I just have a little bit of olive oil heating up in a skillet. And then I'm going to take these 2 chicken breasts and I'm going to dice them up. And I'm going to be seasoning it with this homemade adobo seasoning. I couldn't find it in my store, so I just made my own. I can link the recipe in the description box below. And meanwhile, I have my homemade Mexican rice cooking. I also have already made a video on that. If you haven't seen it yet, I can link that below as well. And then I have some beans heating up in the background here. And I'm just using the old El Paso, however you say it, refried beans. This is the brand that we like. I've never made my own, but I would like to learn how to. And then this is the cheese dip that we use. It's the Gordo's cheese dip. And this really does taste similar to the restaurant. It's so good. And honestly, since we're not going to be using this whole thing, I'm just going to dip out some and microwave it in 30-second intervals. So when I have everything put together, I will show you my plate. So here's the chicken, and I just covered it in some of that cheese sauce. And I will say that the seasoning on the chicken isn't exactly like the restaurant. I'm not sure what they use to season their chicken. If anyone knows, leave it in the comments down below. And then on the beans, I just put a little bit of shredded mozzarella cheese, and that will melt in a little bit. And then I heated up some tortillas, and I just wrapped them up in this tin foil so that they'll stay warm. So you can just build your own tacos. And yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow. It is my husband's birthday, so I'm making him his favorite food. So right now, I'm just frying up some bacon in my cast iron skillet. And at the same time, I'm going to go ahead and get my curly fries started. So I'm just tossing them in my basket, and I'm going to give them a spray of olive oil. I set my temperature to 400 degrees and I put my timer on 12 minutes. I like to season up our hamburgers with this Steak and Shake seasoning. I sprinkle that on both sides. And guys, I'm being bad and I fried these up in that leftover bacon grease. And I don't cook like this often, so don't hate me. But it's a special occasion, and let me tell you, it gave it so much flavors. These were seriously probably the best hamburgers I've ever made. And since I'm already being bad, I figured I might as well go ahead and butter and toast those buns. I took these out halfway through the cooking time and I gave them a good toss so that they could cook even, and I did end up having to cook these an extra 5 minutes, probably because I overcrowded the pan. I topped the burgers with some cheese, and I made this delicious coleslaw to go along with this meal. What we love to do is we actually put the coleslaw on the burgers, and if you've never done that before, just do it. You'll thank me.
For dessert, I made Josh this banana pudding cake. It was so good, as you could imagine. I made a whole video on it showing how I did it. So if you haven't seen that yet, you should definitely check it out. I will leave a link to it in the description box.
Hey guys, it is Thursday and I'm about to make some Cuban sandwiches. So I thought I would show you how I make them. This is the last of the pulled pork that I had in my freezer. So I let that thaw out and I'm going to put it in this bowl and microwave it just to heat it up some. I have my panini press heating up. And this is the bread that I'm going to be using for the sandwiches. I got this at the Walmart bakery last week and I froze them. So I put them in the refrigerator last night so that they could be thawed out by now. And I'm going to cut these in half with a serrated knife, and I'm going to layer it with the pork, some ham, a slice of provolone cheese, and I have this leftover coleslaw from yesterday that I'm going to slather on the bun with some pickles and mustard, and I'm also going to put a light layer of butter on both outsides of the bread.
These are my favorite sandwiches to make. They come together so quick, but they taste like you put in a lot of effort. And that pork was cooked in a smoker, so it just had a delicious flavor to it. And I served it with these baked barbecue chips. For Friday's dinner, I made these barbecue cola pork chops. These were super easy to make. All I did was pour half a can of Coca-Cola in the bottom of my crock pot, and I put in 4 boneless pork chops, and I cooked that for 3.5 hours on low. After the 3.5 hours, I drained the juices from the bottom of the crock pot, and in a little mixing bowl to the side, I put half of a small bottle of barbecue sauce and the other half of that can of Coke. And I just mixed it together good, and I poured that over top of the pork chops, and I let them cook for 30 more minutes, and that was it. I served it with roasted asparagus. I just trimmed my asparagus about 2 inches on the bottom, and I placed these in the air fryer basket. I did have to do these in 2 batches for that amount. I give these a good spray of olive oil, and then I season it up with some garlic salt and pepper. I cooked these at 400 for 10 minutes. I also served these with some baked potatoes. I topped it with butter, sour cream, a little salt and pepper, and some cheese. And my favorite way to eat baked potatoes is to top them with A1 sauce. Let me know if any of you guys do that too. I have been doing this since I was a little girl. It is Saturday, and I made cheesy potato soup. This is another one of our favorites. It is so flavorful. I think what makes it so good is I boil my potatoes in chicken broth, and once the potatoes are tender, I don't drain any of the broth off. I just add all my other stuff to it. It's so good. I serve these with garlic cheddar biscuits. This is the kind that I use. They come frozen. Super easy to make, and they taste similar to Red Lobster. They're just so good. I highly recommend them. So that ends this week. I hope that all of you had a wonderful Easter, and I just want to thank you guys so much for watching. And if you liked the video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and please subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.